Are there two Michael Myers in Halloween Ends? How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champane, and if you like monsters, slashers, pretty much any movie shot during, set during, or inspired by the 1980s, this is the channel for you. First off, I gotta thank you guys so much for blowing up my breakdown for the first Halloween Ends trailer. I have done tons of breakdowns over the years, and this one was by far the biggest, so again, thank you. Guys, I am so close to 50,000 subscribers. Literally, when I'm making this video, there are 5,000 more to go. So if you're a new viewer or you've been here for a while and you just haven't clicked subscribe or set your notifications to all, it would really help me out if you did so. And also let me know down in the comments if you want me to review Nope this weekend. I kind of missed my screening because I was making that video. So in today's video, we're covering two topics. The first one is I want to address some things I got wrong in the last video, mostly because I was riding that high of rushing home and just doing this video as quick as possible to get it up on YouTube. It's really YouTube's fault. The first one was that I said the house that's being crept up on in the beginning of the trailer looks like the Myers house from Halloween 4. I had the right movie, but the wrong house. If you look at the Myers house in Halloween 5, it looks completely different from this house. I was actually imagining the Carruthers house from Halloween 4. It looks very similar to this. It's got to be intentional, right? Like, this seems like a really obvious shout out to Halloween 4, and they've been doing shout outs to pretty much all the Halloween movies. Like, even Halloween 3 was included. So yeah, I feel like this was an intentional call out to Halloween 4, and I gotta say, it's awesome. I just mixed up the house and the movie. I got the movie right, the house wrong. Now, the second one I'm honestly more embarrassed about. So I was talking about how there's this intro to the movie that's like a pan down on a small town street. It's Haddonfield. It's Halloween night. Kids are running around trick-or-treating. And I said it reminded me of the intro to Halloween 6. Yes, I said it reminded me of the intro to a movie that's infamous for having two different cuts where two different things happen in the intro to the same character, obviously being Jamie Lloyd. I meant Halloween H2O. That's the movie I was talking about. I don't know how I screwed that up. Those movies could not be more different. Just wanted to point out that I had something in my head. It just wasn't the intro to Halloween 6. Thank you to everyone who pointed it out. Now we have to talk about the synopsis. I had to make another game time decision there. Basically, I read it while the video was uploading, but I didn't see any other breakdowns up on YouTube yet, so I just decided to talk about it in this second video. And the reason I want to talk about it is it gives us way more interesting details than what we got in the actual teaser, which is awesome. I'm just going to read the one paragraph that really stands out to me because I hate when people read blurbs just to get length out of videos, but here we go. 4 years after the events of last year's Halloween Kills, Laurie is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finishing writing her memoir. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since. Laurie, after allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive her reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life. But when a young man, Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Laurie to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So first of all, I feel pretty good about the predictions I've been making ever since we got that first shot of Laurie where she's all dressed up, her hair is done up nice, she's in a new outfit, she's got new glasses. I was like, yeah, it looks like she's moving on from the whole Michael Myers event after her daughter died. Like, her letting it control her life for so long resulted in all of these people that she loves dying. So the best option she has as a person, I think, is to do her best and move on. I also like that she's making a little money off of this. She's pulling a Rob Zombie Halloween 2 Dr. Loomis. It just feels a little less scummy this time because in Halloween 2 he was going for fame by writing about Laurie Strode, but Laurie Strode is writing about herself in this one. And honestly, I mean, she needs some money to pay for a new house. Hopefully Frank started to GoFundMe for her or something, because I don't think home insurance covers arson. And I'm pretty sure igniting your entire house in flames to kill Michael Myers, despite the fact that it was to kill Michael Myers, I still think that would probably count as arson. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. I just think like insurance companies would take that excuse if it were offered to them. I think that's pretty fair. So let's talk about Cunningham real quick, because he's played by a guy named Rowan Campbell. That's in the like description here. They say who's playing him. I assumed, I had never seen this guy before. I assumed that he was going to be an older person because he's in the Hardy Boys, but no, he's like a younger person. Looks like he's mid-20s, probably around Allison's age, and it looks like they might be friends in this movie. And yeah, he gets framed, it looks like, for the murder of a kid he's babysitting. thing, which is kind of a cool play on the original title for Halloween, which was The Babysitter Murders. I think this is one big chunk of what people were probably referring to when they've been talking about this movie, saying it's going to be different, it might be a little divisive, you know, it's not going to be Halloween 2018 again, and it's definitely not going to be Halloween Kills again. They're going for the more dramatic tone, the stalking Michael Myers, the actual horror movie that we got with Halloween 1978 that was trying to scare you. That's what seems like is coming back here versus the action horror that we got in Halloween Kills. You know, the action slasher where everyone's dying, there's blood everywhere, not a lot of creeping tension or suspense. This looks like it's going for suspense. I think this is really cool because of one other detail that I think is the other huge component of this movie that people are kind of referring to when they're saying it's different. It's very clear from watching the trailer that there are going to be, at least for some part of this movie, two different Michael Myers. So let's cover the first Michael Myers, who's not actually Michael Myers first here. People think this is the person who's breathing and having the POV shot and walking up to the house who Laurie points the gun at. That Michael Myers costume just looks a little bit different. There's actually a shot later in the trailer where you see it full on, and it doesn't look like it's burned on one side like the mask that we saw in Halloween Kills. But we do see the burn mask later in this trailer, which basically tells me personally that there are two Michael Myers. But yeah, the prevailing theory out there is obviously this is a copycat and that it might be an escaped inmate from the hospital that Michael was being transferred to in Halloween 2018. I'm pretty sure the very first update I did for this movie was surrounding Dr. Mathis, this character that's been mentioned multiple times in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. He was casted in this movie to be an actual character. So if he's working at the hospital Michael Myers is being transferred to, and then another inmate escapes, that could be the person who's dressing up as Michael Myers and attacking Laurie. Going back to Corey, it looks like he's going to be framed for a murder, Eddie Munson style, and he's going to have to work together with Allison throughout this movie to kind of clear his name, and of course along with Laurie Strode, because it says she gets thrown into the mix here as well, trying to help this kid who gets framed for murder. Now, who actually kills this kid? It could be the copycat Michael Myers, it could be the real Michael Myers. I don't think personally we have enough hints or info here in the trailer to tell us which one it is. And yeah, at first when people started talking about how he pushes open the door in this house with his left hand and he has all of his fingers, I was a little suspicious at first because, you know, these companies edit trailers all the time to kind of mislead us. It's good marketing. They're trying to make a good trailer to market the movie. So if they have to fudge the details a little bit, they're going to go for that. I mean, we saw that with Spider-Man No Way Home more recently, which was like crazy how much they edited out of that trailer. But this time around, there's a little bit of stuff going on later on in the trailer that I'm going to talk about. And at first, I thought they might have flipped the image because when Laurie is pointing the gun at this person dressed as Michael Myers, she's got a wedding ring on her hand, but it's her right hand. So when you flip the image, that puts it on her left hand, and that kind of made me go, oh, if that's the case, Michael is actually pushing the door open with his right hand because that image is flipped as well. But if you go back to that very first picture we got of Laurie Strode on set, the part in her hair is in the same spot that it is in this shot in the trailer. So that basically says the image isn't flipped and she is just wearing a wedding ring on her right hand. Also, way later on in the trailer when we see this kitchen fight and Michael Myers, or not Michael Myers, is shoving her hand into the garbage disposal, there is a cut, right, where we see it cut to her stabbing Michael Myers' hand on a table. It's clearly his hand because it's green, it's rotted, it's missing the two fingers, but the sleeve that stabs his hand, it looks kind of similar to the blue shirt she's wearing, which is obviously an homage to the shirt she wears in Halloween 1978, but it's a little bit looser and it's a little bit darker blue. I'm kind of thinking that this kitchen fight is from the beginning of the movie and that all of this takes place in the house. That's kind of contradicting what I said in my last video, where I felt like the stuff where all the lights were off was taking place in a different scene in a different house. I actually now think this is all taking place early in the movie, all in one house, and that this is the imposter Michael Myers. I'm also thinking that he probably won't make it out of this fight because Laurie has a ton of experience fighting the real Michael Myers, and this guy's just an imposter. He gets some, you know, easy hits in on her, but I think this fight's definitely gonna go bad for him because if he was shoving her hand into a garbage disposal, I don't think the back of the head headbutt would really phase him all that much. I think he'd be able to jam her hand in there just fine if it was the real Michael Myers. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the imposter Michael. I don't think that's Corey Cunningham under the mask either, like I've seen a ton of people saying. I think he's going to be teaming up with Allison because she needs something to do in this movie. All of her friends and her boyfriend are dead and her mom is dead. She needs someone new to hang out with while Laurie and Frank Hawkins kind of go do their own thing in the other parts of the movie. So yeah, I'm feeling like Corey Cunningham and Allison are going to be a team. That's a great plot for her that kind of spells out the coming of age stuff we heard about. That works great. Now let's talk about the real Michael Myers, because in this trailer it looks like we see what he's been up to in the 4-year gap between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. There's a quick shot in the trailer of him grabbing who I think is Corey's face, and they're clearly in the sewers of Haddonfield. So that basically explains it to me. He's been living down in the sewers, and we know he has no problem killing and eating things raw. He's eaten like a ton of dogs over the different Halloween movies. That was like a joke early on in my channel when I was reviewing them all. So yeah, I think Michael Myers has been chilling in the sewers. That lines up with the cave dweller working title we've had. It's like a clever little play on words, and it looks like he's probably going to come back mostly for the 3rd act. I don't know how he's going to hear that there's an imposter. Maybe Corey went down there to let him know, and he kind of gets upset and really goes after Laurie in the town of Haddonfield once again on Halloween night. But again, I'm just glad we got confirmation that at least part of this movie is going to take place on Halloween night. And also the biggest reason I think this is going to take place at the beginning of the movie is of course because of all of these Halloween decorations. That's the perfect intro for the movie to show what Laurie's up to 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills on Halloween night. See if it phases her, see how it emotionally affects her. I saw a bunch of theories that this could be Frank Hawkins under the mask, kind of like testing her, seeing if she'll be able to get the jump on Michael with the gun. That theory is honestly kind of plausible, because when Laurie says, okay, let's go, it kind of sounds like she's saying it to him. Maybe they're going to a Halloween party with Allison or something. I don't know. There's a ton of different ways you can interpret that. Either way, I'm thinking this movie is going to follow a similar timeline to Halloween 2018, where it starts on Halloween night and kind of makes its way into November 1st. I love that. I think that's going to be really cool. You know that some of the people who saw the test screening and some of the people who act like they know everything about this movie without seeing it are saying that we should be nervous, that it's going to be divisive. From what we're seeing in the trailer, it looks like a Halloween movie with a few extra twists thrown in. I have faith in David Gordon Green and the crew at Blumhouse and everyone who worked on this movie. I don't think they're gonna just like say fuck you to the fans and do a completely different movie with Michael Myers in it, like what we just got with the Resident Evil show on Netflix. I don't think they're going that crazy with it. I think whatever this event is with Corey Cunningham and the babysitter murder that happens in the movie is what's actually going to draw the real Michael Myers out of the sewers, and that's when Laurie's gonna have her final confrontation. Either way, I'm excited for it. I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, Champane.